Hi boys and girls, so this week we're going to continue our narrative writing unit from Writing Fundamentals. And if you remember from last week, something that we talked about is all narratives are in first person point of view. If you look back at our anchor chart that we made last week, you see personal narratives use first person and words like I, my, we, and our. This means that the writer or the narrator of the story speaks directly to you, the reader, and refers to himself or herself as I. And if you remember, I is a very important word because it allows us to talk about us, ourselves. And that's exactly what we do in a personal narrative. We're writing about our own personal memories or experiences. But there's nothing really new about storytelling to you because we've all been doing storytelling for as long as you've been talking. Pretty much, right? So every day you talk, you share how your day was, you share what happened at school or what happened at home, you tell about things that went well for you, something that might have been hard for you that day, things that you saw throughout the day. And when we're talking to someone else, we're sharing our own experiences or memories from the day. So you've been telling stories for as long as you can talk. That's just kind of what a personal narrative is. We just take it and write it on a piece of paper now. So this week we're going to be exploring a new book, and the title of this book is called I Love My Hair. Let's take a good look. The author's name is Natasha Tarpley, and it is illustrated by E.B. Lewis. And if you remember, the author writes the words, and the illustrator draws or paints, but creates the pictures of the book. So, take a good look at the cover. I love my hair. This topic is so unique and interesting. Wonder why someone would write a book about loving hair. That seems kind of silly, doesn't it? But it might be something that's really important to the author, Natasha. So important that she decided to write a narrative story about it. So, talk to somebody at your house. Why do you think Natasha chose to write about her hair? What do you think? All right, now hair is certainly a very personal subject, and maybe that's why she wrote about it. I think that Natasha, the author, knew that readers might wonder why she chose to write about this topic, hair. So, guess what she did? She wrote something called an author's note to explain why she wrote a story about her hair. So let's open up and find the author's note. And boys and girls, a lot of time in books, there are author's notes. And so they explain why they chose to write about the topic they wrote about. And in this case, the topic is hair. So let's open up and read. Now it's going to be a little bit harder for you to see it, but I'm going to read it to you. Author's note. This is how I fell in love with my hair. When I was a little girl, my mother would often comb my hair in the evening before I went to bed. I would make myself comfortable between her knees as she rubbed sweet-smelling oil along the line of my scalp where she had parted my hair. Then she would start to comb. Sometimes she would tell me stories to distract me from the pain of stubborn tangles, but what I enjoyed most about those evenings was being so close to my mother. The texture and the sound of my hair sliding through her fingers, the different hairstyles she would create, the smell of the hair oil mixing with the lingering scent of her perfume. I loved the way we laughed and talked about the day's events, just the two of us. Now that I am older, my mother no longer combs my hair. I found this to be very liberating at first, which means she thought it was great. Like, whew, no more mom brushing my hair. But once initial excitement overall, the different styles I could now try began to wane, I saw that beyond the freedom lay years of struggle. I went from one phase to another with my hair, from relaxers to punk rock spikes, from braids to barely there short natural, Almost 2 years ago, I decided to grow dreadlocks for the first time since those nights when I sat between my mom's knees. I was at peace with my hair, at home again with myself. So this is why she decided to write the story, I Love My Hair, because it was a special event to her. Now looking back, when you're a kid, you don't realize how special things like that are until you get older. And you think back, wow, I really enjoyed that time. So her hair and the time she spent with her mom was extremely important to her. And that's why she chose to write this story. So what you're going to do now is head on over to the next slide and enjoy the read aloud, I Love My Hair.